Wholeness. Welcome to Runes of Silvertree. This is Silvertree here. And today's Wednesday energy reading is called Deception and Liberation. In this episode, I'm going to get into the coming energy of next year, 2022. And, I don't want to stick the collective in one specific timeline because there's multiple. There's an infinite amount of different timelines. We are in and out of them all day, every day, all the time, when we dream, when we're awake. But this was very, the message that came through was very specific and very heavy on the word deception and also liberation. And so I want to share this with you. The first rune that I pulled for our energy vortex as a human collective for our mind body, I pulled a triangle. If you watched the previous episode from last week, it's the same rune. It's the same type of energy, that 3 energy. And I have this upward motion. I feel this upward motion with our mind, with our thinking. I'm hearing the word climax. There's a climax taking shape right now at this moment that ties into 2022. It's almost like I'm hearing, hold on to your seats. It's like we're on a ride. I'm seeing a roller coaster ride. I'm seeing we're going slowly up, 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 up. You hear that clink, clink, clink. When you're on the roller coaster and you hear that sound, clink, clink. It's almost like tick, tock, like a time. Okay, it's like a time, and a ticking time bomb. Okay, and it's tick, 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 and then right at the very top, with all the weights from the other cars from this roller coaster, it tips over and it goes down. And that's what I'm seeing looking at this rune. Last week it was inverted. It was in the other direction, but this week it was literally like a roof, right? Like something high, something very almost ethereal, like mind, maybe. Okay, mind control. But that's what I see, and that's what I felt, and that's what I'm being shown right now. Is this tick, 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 tick of the roller coaster slowly climbing up to the peak, and then this rush of energy going down that slope. Next, I pulled the butterfly rune. When you look at this, you either see a butterfly, you see a star. And this rune is incredibly powerful. This is symbolic of source. This is symbolic of a transformation of the heart body. And this is very powerful. This is beautiful energy. This energy is of luck. It's of connecting to that throne. The heart, the throne of the heart, the seat. And we are sitting there, truly tuning in. If you haven't caught wind of this, which I'm probably sure if you have any kind of electronic device, smartphone, laptop, anything, of what the social media is talking about is regarding the employment. You have thousands of people leaving their jobs. You have thousands of people saying, no, we want to renegotiate our contract. You have thousands of people listening to their heart, following their inner guidance on what is right for themselves, what's right for their family, what's right for their community. This is a very powerful way to be, yet it does come with challenges. When you look at this rune, you see a figure standing firm, but then you see you see an X. You see two energies crossing and blocking that energy, but that person standing firm. You know, it's almost like I'm getting the symbol when you're crossing when you come across a railroad, and you have that sign that says railroad crossing. It looks exactly like this. It's like it's almost like the opposing energies are no longer fighting with each other. It's higher frequency and lower frequency. It's almost like they can't see each other. They're not aware of the other, because one has chosen one path and the other has chosen the other path. If you think of the movie Mist of Avalon, and there's a section of the movie or in the story where what's her name? They have to cross the river to get in, or the lake to get into Avalon. And then you have to dispel or divide the mists in order to see it. You have to thin the veil, bring down the veil in order to see this beautiful place of magic and of mystery. And that's what I'm seeing and feeling like in our hearts. It's all about your heart language. And we're not going to be able, another example would be you're living with a person who's, let's say, has an addiction. And this addiction could be anything, okay? They have this addiction. And then you have the person who's not addicted, okay? And I've been in this situation before where I personally in my life, I was living with someone that had this problem, okay? And the vibration, my frequency was not in match of it. It was like this person couldn't see my world, couldn't feel me because the frequency was so low, and I couldn't really feel her because anytime I tune into that energy, it would hurt me. It would cause me pain and cause me suffering. So it's almost like you just don't mesh. Like it's like oil and water. There you go. Thank you, Source. Oil and water. And that is what I'm getting the emotional from the heart body of our collective. It's like literally the oil separating from the water separating from the oil, and we're not meshing. And that's the vibration. That's that separation that's taking place in the world right now. So it's very, very, I can say so much, but I want to keep it to this rune, and we'll move on to the sigil later. The next rune that I pulled is for the body, okay, in our physical reality, okay? And I pulled the herb. I pulled the herb again. I pulled the plant. And it's healing. It's like a healing energy. Like the earth is being healed. The physical body of our planet we're going through something major. Something is this long needed medicine or cure. We're receiving it for those that are in alignment with the truth in their heart. And that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing people coming together to grow crops and crops of food, growing their herbs, barter system. And now is the time. And I'm okay. I'm being guided to go into that as far as bartering and prepping. This is centered on food. This rune right here is centered on food. Prepare. Recently, I watched a message from Ceka, and again, she said the same thing. I'm saying the same thing because I'm feeling it. Prepare your food. Prepare, stock up, get what you need now, and know how to barter. Have a bartering system. Have your skill set in order. For me personally, I'm getting into woodworking, getting into sewing. I'm getting into knowing how to do things, become an expert at it. Find someone who's better at it than you so that you can learn. Okay, this is definitely food related. Learn about how to network but it's very similar. I'm just getting a visual of crops, food, growing things. And again, this is really tied into the energy of 2022. I'm telling you this in November 2021. We're in that year 5 energy, that of movement, of great change, of upheaval. It's 5 energy is very uncomfortable. Okay, 5 is alchemy to me. It is the 5 senses. It's very, very visceral, raw energy. It can be very, very uncomfortable. That 6 energy brings comfort. It's very nurturing if you're in the right space within yourself. If you're not in the right space with 6, it can be almost like overindulgent. And that's what I'm also picking up. Like, don't be wasteful of the fruits that grow from the tree. That's what's coming through. Don't overspend. Don't hoard too. Like, be very careful with hoarding. You want to be in the space of abundance when you are prepping, when you're prepping for what's to come, or preparing for what's to come. I'm seeing trees. I'm seeing okay, I'm hearing people will form tribes in the trees. Tree people. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. And it could, okay, tree people, tribe, safe spaces, off grid. I'm hearing know your place. So know your role. Yeah. So knowing your place, knowing your role, what are you doing to prepare? But this is heavily, heavily food related, guys. Yeah, you have to connect with people that are doing similar things that you're into, and have them know more than you in order for you to learn, because plant growth, I'm seeing this as the learning experience. 2026 is going to be incredibly it's very based on learning. Learn, growth. You're going to grow through learning. You're going to learn through growth, and it's incredibly important this next year. A lot of people are going to be growing. So a lot of growth with the body of consciousness, with our physical reality. And yes, there is whispers of food shortages. And then this is not to be fear mongering or anything. It's just the reality. So most places up north, you're no longer growing foods because it's winter season. But I'm hearing non-perishables. Like, get your food together. This is not to cause fear. This is to spark inspiration in you, and to spark a networking community. All right, that's all for this rune here. Now, last but not least, we'll get into the sigil. The sigil was, at first, when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is wonderful. Because you have the angel, right? That star in the middle looks like an angel, a butterfly, a light body. If you guys have ever tuned into that part of yourself, everyone has a light body. And, and I've seen them, I've seen mine, I've seen, other people or other beings, and it's quite stunning and beautiful. And then, I was guided to place the herb, the plant inside the triangle, the mind, the triangle. The triangle in this mental space, in the mind body of the collective, is very tricky. The number 3, you have 1, 2, 3, 3 sides of a triangle, is very, very tricky energy because it's imbalanced. It's like it's like almost, if you think, you're standing on one foot. I'm getting a visual. You're standing on one foot for too long. You're not standing on both feet. And so there's like confusion. It's like, okay, I'm gonna make this decision. And so you make that decision, turn right, and it's not quite what you had in mind. Or you go left and it's not quite what you had in mind. It's like, it's almost, I'm hearing too much weight. There's too much weight on either side. So there's an imbalance with this thinking. Okay. But what was most, concerning for me is the rune, the plant rune, okay, from the energy vortex, is placed in this triangle. The triangle, the 3 energy, is the womb energy, right? It's creativity. But in this, I'm seeing, and I heard a sort of block, like a creative block. The womb is flipped up, okay? Not downward, but up. So it's inverted. So a flipped womb, meaning flipped creativity. And then you have the plant placed in that. So there's deception here. Okay? This is very serious. A deception here. Take a look at the star, okay? The larger rune that I was guided to make large. And it's very interesting. You have this angelic light body, angelic being, which is us. And then you have blocked some deception above that. You have liberation, and then you have a block right above the head. Now, they just came out, or they will be coming out with Metaverse. I shouldn't say get off social media. No. I would say choose the role you want to be in. If you want to be a producer, okay, by all means, keep your social media, but you really, really need to limit what you're consuming from it, and be sure that you're producing more than what you're consuming. That's how you can kind of stay ahead of this game when it comes to on being online, having an online presence. If you are in the role of a consumer, you need to get out now. If you don't want to be, because this is what's going to happen. For those that can overconsume too much nonsense and they're not producing in their life and they're just consuming, you're going to be in this inverted trap that I see here of creativity. You're going to think that you're growing because, ooh, look at me. I'm in Metaverse. I'm in virtual reality. I have my smartphone. I have my internet. I got my Wi-Fi. I have this. I have that. It's a trap. Don't fall for it, because we all know what happens when a plant doesn't get enough water, when it doesn't get enough sunlight, when it doesn't get enough love, okay? It dies. And you can see here at the size of the plant, it's already outgrowing, right, the walls of this trap. And it will die. There's a death there. That's what I see. If the triangle was, if the womb was in its normal shape, because wombs point downward, okay, it would be a completely different story. But it's not. That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing falsehood. Okay, let's take a look downward at the North Star I'm seeing, because this energy is like, it's north. It's like a North America. Okay, that just popped up. So this energy, this whole sigil is very centered on the north. So northern countries, like Northern Europe, the Western world. That's what I'm getting. That Western Northwestern world culture. There's a trap being set, and you have to be aware and evolve. The butterfly, okay? The butterfly medicine is strong in this. It's angelic. You know, it starts from a caterpillar, and then it's in its cocoons, and then it eats and eats and eats. It consumes, and then it makes its home, its cocoon, stays in there and hibernates for a while, and then it bursts open with beautiful wings, and that's what's happening. We are expanding. We are expanding our wings for the world to see or not see. It really depends. I'm hearing talk about sight. Okay, sight. Something about seeing, sight, virtual reality. Okay, all right. So I'm being directed to get back into virtual reality. So this whole falsehood and deception, there's liberation. Tune into the butterfly medicine and expand your wings. Don't fall for this false crown that hangs above our head. That's a crown. That's an inverted, a deceptive crown that they want you to wear over your head. I'm seeing like a field, like with these goggles that they're going to give everyone, in contacts and glass and frames to wear. It's going to give you this false sense of growth, that you're growing, that you're expanding, but it's not. It's a big trap. Be liberated. You're going to have to be out of this. You don't wear the crown. Don't fall for it. Why? Because you already have a crown. You already have a crown. You are royal. Liberate yourself from the illusion and to have true sight. Liberate yourself from this deception, because it's a trap. Let's look into the star, okay, the butterfly energy. All right. Now, you can say, oh, Nadja, I'll ask you, how many lines do you see? How many energies do you see? You can see 3, 1, 2, 3, or you can break it down to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with this 6 energy, I'm seeing for 2022, it's like too many hands controlling the table in an imbalanced way. Too many hands controlling the table in an imbalanced way. I'm thinking the Knights Templar, or the Knights of the Round Table. Knights of the Round Table. And everyone is trying to, it's almost like the governments, the people that, the elite, I call them entities. I'll call them elite so you understand what I'm saying. Because the elite are controlled by entities. But the elite, I'm seeing the elite sitting at a round table, like the knights, and they're just bickering, going back and forth on how to further accomplish the deception, okay, that crown, that fake crown of growth, the deception. How are we going to do this? I see a gray table. I'm seeing men in just this dark gray, muddy gray, and no lights. really, and it's very dark and heavy and masculine. And there's women there too, but it's a very dense energy, nothing in the middle, and it's this round table, and men are just going back and forth, and women are just, what are we going to do? No, I want to do this. It's like they're fighting for control on how to get better control of the illusion, because the illusion is falling apart. The sight, people are able to see. Okay, people are able to see what's happening. At first, last year and this year is very primarily focused on the division, right? Or in 2020, it was like black and white. You know, you had George Floyd, you had this racial thing that narrative that they're pushing real strong. You had the Democrat versus Republican, you had that narrative they were pushing real strong. And then it carried on into this year. You had the vax, and then you had the unvax that they're pushing really strong. And now I feel like they're running out of steam, and they're running, it's a muck. I'm seeing a wheel with this. I'm seeing a wheel, and it's wobbling, okay? It's wobbling. Also, what came through before, I just took a couple of notes here. There will be some kind of fire or spark or surprise, firework that I'm seeing here, of a really big surprise, medical surprise. So it could be a surprise of a truth coming out. Massive awakening. Ooh, okay, a massive awakening in this year 6. And we've had these discussions before. I mean, in the spiritual community, the Great Awakening, the Golden Age. And I was speaking to my lover the other night, and I'm like, it's actually happening. It is actually happening. And we don't feel it yet. It's not like at our core. Like, we do feel it, but we don't know what to call it. But we feel this shift. Everybody feels the shift. And then you have those that are just kind of wanting to go back to normal. And normal died. Normal died in 2020. I don't there is no normal anymore. Normal passed away. Like, it's gone, okay? This 5 energy this year, it's gone. And so, it's onion layers. I kept hearing onion yesterday. Onion is very, pungent smell. It smells, and we're just peeling back the layer more and more and more and more, only to realize that source is at the middle of it. Ooh. Right? Ooh. You weren't expecting that, huh? Because we can dig and dig and dig and dig and dig, and with after, and I don't believe they're conspiracy theories. I don't believe in them, and I say this because it's just facts, okay? Facts are facts. A theory is a theory, and if there's evidence that backs up a theory, then it's a fact. So, anyway, it's like we're digging and digging and digging and digging and digging, trying to find the truth, of all that's taking place in our society. And we're just going to discover that there is no core, because all of this is divinely timed and guided, no matter how uncomfortable we may feel. What came up also okay. So I got the North Star, follow the drinking gourd, like the stars at night, follow the night, follow the night, follow guidance, okay? For those of you who know that nothing will ever be normal again, guidance. Embrace supreme loving guidance. Another thing I was shown was ninjas in the night. Ooh, okay, ninjas in the night. And I don't know what they call those things, but they're metal, and they literally look like stars. and you chuck it at somebody, and they're small, and you like literally throw them. I don't know, it's not knife throw, I don't know what to call them. Comment below if you know what they are, but people who remain, well, you can't, people who desire to go back to normal, like reality is going to literally surprise you next year. Okay, in this timeline. Nothing is fixed, but this is just a potentiality of where we're at right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing ninjas throwing these star daggers, okay, at these individuals, at these groups, and maybe possibly countries, communities of people that are just really stuck on, let's continue being in this and playing this VR, this simulation game, this deception, because deception is what I'm comfortable with. Deception is, I want to wear that crown of deception. And these people aren't going to know why or where they're getting, like where the source of these star daggers are coming from, and it's going to cause great havoc. Yeah, so I'm getting be physically and mentally prepared. Again, I'm going to bring up the person, and when you look at this, the butterfly, I'm getting a body standing firm, and then the arms like a block. And here's the thing, I'm getting two different energies from this. So for those that don't choose to wear the crown of deception that's above, as you can see in the triangle, and you see the crown, you're going to be able to block. You're going to be able to block out what doesn't serve you a lot easier. Things are going to be a lot easier for those to block out the illusion, block out the deception. I'm not saying it's going to be easy to do that, like emotionally easy, but somehow spiritually, there's some type of protection because you choose and you have chosen to not wear the crown of illusion, to not wear the crown of deception. And so I'm seeing like a gate. Oh, wow. I'm seeing a fenced area. Those chain fences? That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a portion of that right now, keeping someone out. On the flip side of this, I'm seeing an individual that has, let me continue here. For those that choose not to wear the crown of deception, I can't say it's going to be easy. There's going to be blocks here's the thing, it's like, you're going to gain access to something that the people the wearers of the crown of deception won't have access to anymore. They will if they choose to leave it. It'll be harder for them in the very near future to leave it. There's always a possibility to take off the crown of deception, but those that don't, you're going to have and gain access to liberation, to your own self-liberation. But once you leave that crown of deception, you won't have access to the benefits of wearing that thing, of wearing whatever this head device is. Okay, that's what Source is saying. It's some kind of head device. You won't be able to have the benefits, to reap the benefits of this false deceptive crown. And that may make you feel blocked in some way, but then you have access to all this liberation. So you have your wings. Your wings aren't clipped. It's a very weird, very deep energy here. And then those that wear the crown of deception, you're blocked. You won't be able to access what those that wear the crown of liberation, which, okay, is the wings. I see here, you're not going to be able to have access to your wings, okay? Because you're wearing the crown. And I don't know if this is directly tied to virtual reality, wearing the virtual glasses, virtual contacts, virtual goggles, virtual watch, virtual jewelry. It's like you're going to be eating virtual food, you're going to be having virtual sex, you're going to be having virtual school, everything will be out of touch, but in touch, but truly it's out of touch. You're going to be out of touch with this liberation. It's a very interesting thing, and this is part of the Great Separation, part of the rise of technocracy. And so either way, with this very solid choice that we will have to make next year, now, because whatever we do now in the present moment shapes our future. So whatever you're doing right now, with technology specifically, I'm just hearing, do not wear the crown. Do not wear the crown. People will go incredibly mad with this thing, with this device, without it. So it's going to become highly addictive. Highly addictive. That's all. It's. And I mentioned something about addiction earlier, where addict living with a non-addict, it's never. It's like oil and water. Oh gosh. Okay. An addiction, I'm hearing an addiction so severe that a person would possibly end their life in their life cycle. So this is it, guys. This is it. I don't know what else, how else to put it. Do not wear it. And this means anything that links you into that world. I know many of us, and here's the kicker, and I think this reading will be ending soon. Okay, here's the kicker. Most of us those of us who are producers, meaning actively creating content online, actively putting out our messages, using our smartphones, we won't be able to do that anymore. I'm hearing like towards the end of 2022, it's going to be just a massive shutdown of something towards the end of 2022. And in this timeline that I'm tuning into right now, because again, there is multiple. I'm a multidimensional being. You're a multidimensional being. So there's multidimensional potential outcomes. But the one I'm being shown and tuned into right now, there's going to be a massive, massive, massive shutdown of some kind. I don't know if it's technical or food or something, but it's going to be where all those other individuals are like, I want to go back to normal. Everyone just take the shot because I want to go back to normal. Get vaccinated because I want to go back. I want to be normal. No, and I'm not trying to poke fun at those that have gotten it. If you have gotten it, again, you can walk away, okay? And you can tune in, because nothing is fixed. I think that all this stuff that they're putting out can be reversed, but that's me, okay? It could be released, it could be returned, it could be reversed. But yeah. And if you want, information on that, talk to me about it. 2022, yeah, massive shutdown. Many people will lose their homes. Many people will be displaced. Many will form tribes. There's a growing caravan of people who live in their vehicles online. I know his name's Bob Wells. He's probably very wealthy at this point. Very, 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 very good to watch. I've lived out of my van. I've lived out of my vehicle before, and it was challenging. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm a minimalist, so it's like, it's gonna be big, and it's gonna be a great test. But back into saying this to those that are aware. You practice awareness. Awareness speaks to you. Awareness runs through you. There will be a moment where you're gonna have to set down your iPhone, turn off your Wi-Fi, and turn off your laptop. All digital devices. Now, most people will say, Naja, but like, you can still be, use it for good. These things were never made for good. They were never made for good. I am not against technology or anything. I love it. I think it's amazing. But there will be a moment where you're going to have to know how to operate without it. This is, I don't know, Okay, I'm being guided to wrap things up with a message. But that's what came through that, and wow. Yeah, so deception. So there's a lot of Decepticons that also came through, the word Decepticons. And there's a plethora of them. Okay, I'm being guided to talk about social media, and then I believe the reading will be over. Social media, the Decepticons. Everyone, you have to ask yourself, are you a liberator or are you a Decepticon? The things that you're producing, is it going to help liberate other people, or is it going to deceive them? And that is by far the biggest thing I can end this message with. Are you, as a producer, are you producing content, material, running a business that can help, in the service, running a service that can help liberate others? Or are you a consumer, and are you going to deceive? Are you using it to deceive? My producers out there, are you because it's not just about consuming anymore, it's about deception at this point, tricking people, eating up people's time, eating up people's energy. There's so many reaction videos online that I find quite deplorable. And I'm guilty of it, guilty pleasure. You enter in a rabbit hole, and you swim down that rabbit hole, and then you're like, wow, an hour just went by, or 2 hours just went by. And, so it's very, very, very deceptive, very, very sneaky. And those who practice awareness, you see it online, you see it everywhere. But yeah, are you deceiving others? Whatever you're creating, are you deceiving others, or are you liberating others? How are you aiding in this transition? Because it's a huge one for 2022. Yeah. So yeah, I feel that that's the message. Wanting it to be a little bit shorter, but that sources doesn't operate on, human leaner time, you know. I appreciate you for listening in. Please check out Seeds of Silvertree. That's more focused on how-to videos. Right now, I'm talking about spirituality, you know, just to jumpstart the channel. But I will be getting into my artwork and my sewing and how to sew, how to do woodworking. And by all means, I'm a beginner with this, okay? I am a beginner with making my own clothes. I'm a beginner with carving and woodworking. I've been doing my own artwork for a while, but I definitely want to have more of a spiritual emphasis and just spiritual talk on this channel. So I think I might move some of those videos over here I've done so far. Please check it out, and check out my SOVRTR music channel as well. I am studying the 99 names of Allah. It's part of a Sufi practice. It's quite beautiful. I love chanting. I love music, and it really resonates with my spirit. So please check it out. It's all live recording right now. I'm also producing other music as well, but that takes a lot of time, so check it out. And please also check out Ceka, the prophetess. She's a big inspiration to me. There's also other YouTubers as well, but she's not as well known as she should be. She is phenomenal. She has a lot of good how-to videos, how to build, you know, earth domes, how to prepare for food shortages, how to live off, you know, grid, how to do many things. And so I'm inspired by her. Please check her out. Thank you so much for listening and tuning into today's message of, are you a deceiver or are you a liberator? Okay. You know, don't wear the crown of deception, whatever you do. Ask yourself as a producer of your own reality. Are you liberating or are you deceiving? Okay. Well, with that, embrace supreme loving guidance, expand your consciousness, and evolve your human being. Thank you so much for tuning in today. See you next week.